Hello guys and gals of the internet, I'm the Civic Chaos of YouTube, Twitch TV and Mixer.com. It's been a while since I've done a channel update like this. I think it was like 2-3 years ago, but there's a reason for this whiff angle right now that I'm doing this video, and it's a bit of an unfortunate news. It's not bad news, but it's more unfortunate. You guys may have noticed that there's been no video since Saturday, and there's your reason. I have no PC again. Basically, after Saturday night, when the most recent parts of Detroit Become Human and Dragon Ball FighterZ Team Fusion Madness went up, that madness actually started. Basically, I shut down for the night on Saturday, and basically Sunday went to upload the next two videos that night, and the computer wouldn't turn on. It turned on and turned off immediately, and then 5 seconds later it did the same thing again, and every 5 seconds or so it would switch on and off like immediately. Later on it had a suspected like power problem, and that's pretty much what it was. The power block had basically died, which isn't really surprising in a way, because I think it was my oldest component in the PC, because obviously when I had to call in for PC repairs last time, after the first time was actually when my water pump broke and my uncle came to fix that and get a new one. The second time I had to hand it in because I broke the motherboard by putting my new graphics card in completely wrong and breaking the damn thing. But that wasn't much of an issue. That was just like a new motherboard. I got a new processor, I think. New pastings and all that stuff. So that should have been kept going for a couple of years, but we didn't change the power supply. So the power supply was kind of 4 years old, and it just eventually died out. Now, commonly it happens. It happens when the power goes down and down and down as you use it. But really, after shutting down from Saturday, I had no real warning that it was going to do that. I had no warning at all. I shut down for Saturday, and it just wouldn't turn on when I tried to unload Sunday. So I really had no kind of warning that it was going to happen. So it was just rather unfortunate. But considering the fact that it was 4 years old, I think that was probably it's to be expected, but at the same, it's unexpected, because I didn't expect it to happen at that very moment. But thankfully, all the playthroughs that are currently going on right now with Team Fusion Madness and Detroit Become Human, those playthroughs are all saved on a hard drive, and that should be fine. He's just taken the case with it and the whole stuff with it. He probably won't replace the hard drive or anything, because that doesn't need replacing. That's absolutely fine. He obviously needs to take it to log into the account, because with Microsoft you need to put in a password. I don't even need a password because I'm the only one that uses the thing, but excuse me. So yeah, so that's what he's taking the whole thing for. We've got a new order of a power supply, and I think we're going to basically probably get it about by the end of the week, which would be perfect. So it's unfortunate, it sucks, but that's why there's been no videos of the past couple of days. So I thought I'd kind of do this small update and kind of tell you what's going on. I know a lot of people. I've only got 182 subs on my channel. Very few people check me out and probably even care, but I thought I'd do it anyway, because then I can really talk about E3 a little bit. I think I might do this tomorrow for PlayStation and Nintendo as well. Might do it because I can still upload from this tablet. I can still record these videos and upload them through the tablet means. So that's a very convenient thing to use when your PC's out of action again. But yeah, like I said, the power supply, 4 years old, the oldest component in the PC after my motherboard got changed after I broke the last one. So yeah, that was probably on its way out, but I had no real warning, so it's unfortunate. But we're getting a new one. It should be good back by the end of the week. So it doesn't really matter, because I don't really have a lot to kind of record right now anyway, because I finished Detroit Become Human the other day. Excellent fucking game. I recommend you all fucking buy it, because it is insanely good. And yeah, I will just leave it there without spoiling too much. So, with that in mind, and with that kind of reason explained, let us talk about E3 a little bit. It started pretty much last week, I think. As you know, E3 is the perfect time for a gamer like me. You know, it's the best time of the year. You know, all the new releases coming out, new gameplay footage and all that stuff. I don't really focus on the developer conferences like Bethesda or anything like that, although there was a few notable things from Square Enix and Bethesda and EA. EA, not even worth talking about. Talk about Anthem, talk about FIFA, talk about... Yeah, there's nothing at EA. Every year there's nothing at EA apart from the same shit we saw last year, apart from when there was a Star Wars release or some crap. But, you know, just no reason to talk about EA. Absolutely no reason. Except for the fact that FIFA 19 is getting the Champions League, but that's superfluous. We all knew that anyway, you know, because PES... yeah, we all knew that was coming. You know, it's superfluous news, because once PES lost the Champions League license, you know EA were going to go out and buy it, because EA is funded by Ultimate Team. But, who cares? Obviously... Now I've just thought about it, that actually puts paid to the World Cup for a bit. I've just actually realised that. I could do it with the share factor, I suppose, but I think I'd rather do it with my actual editing instead. That's much more better to do, so I've just realised that, but never mind. You know, it's FIFA 18, I wasn't looking forward to playing the game again anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. If you've watched my pre-tournament video, you'll know what I mean when I said that. So yeah, EA was the same crap that we see every year. Madden, FIFA, NBA, NHL, yeah. If you're a sports enthusiast, you love those games. Nothing really to talk about. I suppose the biggest thing was the Champions League in FIFA, which really isn't a big thing when you think about it because you knew they were getting it. So EA, absolutely nothing as usual. Bethesda was last night. So Bethesda actually, we'll go with this first. From what I know, Bethesda actually announced Doom Eternal or Doom something. Excuse me, my friend Julio went nuts because it was what it is. Doom Eternal, I think it is a Doom sequel. It's a sequel to the very good Doom game that was a reboot back in 2016. I think, yeah, it was 2016. Really good game. I haven't been able to play through it yet. I'm about 2, 3, 4 hours in. But really, I haven't just been able to sit down and record much when I've had to record other stuff as well. And then some playthroughs just get left behind. Like, at the beginning of the year, obviously, I said Doom and Resident Evil 7 were playthroughs. And then I just had to get the Doom, the console version, and then streaming. And yeah, I just haven't... I'm more just streaming than YouTubing at the moment. I think it's kind of showing, but at the same time, I'm not one of those guys who wants to stream the same game over and over again. So being a variety gamer does hurt me a little bit in terms of wanting to do this playthrough and want to do this playthrough and want to do this game on stream and this game on stream. I'm kind of convoluted, kind of overcrowding myself with stuff. Yeah. That's just the way it goes, I guess. So that's the burns of being a variety gamer. When you want to play through one game, and then another game comes out, you want to play through that game, and then sometimes you just forget about games like Resident Evil 7 and Doom that you promised 6 months ago. So that's a bit unfortunate. So I'm sorry about that, but I am still planning to do Resident Evil 7, especially because I feel I need to do that because a lot of the Resident Evil series is up on my channel, like Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, when we eventually get back down to it. And obviously Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1 Remake, that is, and Resident Evil 2 Remake whenever that eventually decides to come out. Fuck those. With the remakes of Resident Evil and Final Fantasy, you probably never know when they're coming out, but maybe we'll see some Resident Evil 2 footage from tonight, the PlayStation conference perhaps. I'm going to try and stay awake for that, but I've got to be up at some early-ish time tomorrow for something, so forgive me if I'm a bit kind of forgetful on what happened there. If I forget half of it, it's probably because I fell asleep. But I'll get kind of back up to it before I do the video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Square Enix just had their comments, but then Square Enix, you know, Kingdom Hearts, Captain fucking what's his name? There's actually eluded me again. Captain Spirit. Oh, I want to talk about that friggin' game in a minute. But we'll start with the E3 press conference from Xbox, Microsoft, which I'm very, very pleasantly surprised to say that they actually did fucking great. Microsoft had their best conference ever since the Xbox One launched. This has been their best conference by far. You know, they had that whole farce with 2013 and the Xbox One DRM nonsense. Phil Spencer has literally saved Microsoft and Xbox from collapse because obviously we know no one was in the right mind to buy an Xbox One because Don Matrick was designed to be an asshole and tell everyone to buy a 360 instead. Yeah, great way to promote new console, you fucking tool. But you know what I mean? Great way to promote your new console. Oh, buy a 360 because we're having all these anti-gamer bullshit. And then basically Phil Spencer came in and said, "Fucking kick him out, and I'll take over, and I'll do what the gamers want to do." So kudos to Phil Spencer for that stuff. You know, and he's been the brains behind the adaptive controller, backwards compatibility program, Game Pass program. You know, so Phil Spencer has literally saved Xbox from doom and gloom, as it were. Not collapse, because they probably wouldn't. You know, they got so much money, Microsoft, but you know, it pretty much was a doomed console on arrival, and then Phil Spencer pretty much saved it since. And this year was the kind of conclusion of that. Very good E3. Started with a game called Halo Infinite. Now, I don't know about you, but Halo Infinite literally screams Battle Royale at me. It does. It's going to be a Battle Royale game, guys. I mean, why wouldn't 343 do that? You know, everyone's doing a Battle Royale game. H1Z1 beta on PS4, PUBG, and all their updates, Fortnite and all their updates on every console, and cross-play with the Fortnite, and yeah, it's a Battle Royale game. Battlefield's doing one, Black Ops is doing one. Everyone's doing a Battle Royale to the point that eventually Battle Royale as a concept is going to get boring and no one's going to care. And like I've probably said before somewhere, I don't really know who's going to buy Black Ops, and games like Black Ops and Battlefield, there have been kind of sinking franchises, so to speak. Call of Duty probably not, but Battlefield, only a very select few people play it, I think. I'm not sure that I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not a Battlefield player. I've never really been into Battlefield, really. I don't really like the style of the maps, and, you know, I'm not good at shooters to begin with anyway, so that really hampers things. But, you know, here's the point, right? Black Ops 4 and Battlefield, rather, and maybe even Halo Infinite as well, if it is a Battle Royale game. Who on earth, right, is going to pay £50 or $60 or whatever your currency is to play a Battle Royale mode when Fortnite does it for free? You know, it's really weird. You know, I don't know who's going to actually pay a full-fledged game just to buy Battle Royale, like play the Battle Royale mode when Fortnite does it for free. It kind of makes no sense. I don't know what the status is with H1Z1. I've been playing a lot of it lately. I love H1Z1. I think it's fun as hell. I don't know if it's going to become a price thing in the future. But, you know, if Fortnite does it for free, who's going to buy Battlefield and Black Ops just to play that mode? It just makes no sense. You're paying essentially for 1/4 of the game. You're paying for a quarter of the game. You're paying £50 for a quarter of a game. It's ridiculous. I don't think anyone in the right mind would do that. But we'll have to see. I mean, I'm not buying Black Ops 4 this year. I don't care. It's got no campaign. And I stopped buying Call of Duty 2-3 years ago. And I'm sticking by it because I'm such a high critic of Call of Duty and I don't really give a fuck about it, to be honest. So I stopped buying Call of Duty games a long time ago. Unless it was Modern Warfare 2, which we've had no stuff of yet. So that's quite funny how there's been no Call of Duty news yet. But it might be tonight because, as you know, PlayStation has the exclusive kind of rights to Call of Duty DLC first. So if we're going to see any Call of Duty stuff, it will be there, if anywhere. So yeah, Halo Infinite looks like Battle Royale, Halo Battle Royale. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. That's quite a cool concept. But is Fortnite so popular at this point that no one would pay £50 or $60 for a quarter of a game? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, I just think Fortnite streams ahead. Even though, to be fair, I prefer PUBG and H1Z1's gameplay to Fortnite's. I just do. It's just like, I prefer it somehow. I think it's like the fast traveling cars. I'm not sure what it is. I just like it better than Fortnite for some reason. I'm not against Fortnite, I just prefer those two in terms of gameplay, although I'm not paying for PUBG when it's not even finished yet. It's quite funny how PUBG is £30 for an unfinished game. But although I might buy it in the winter, because one of the things from the Xbox conference was something about PUBG, and they had this like awesome fucking battle going on with all this gunfire and shit. And I was like, yes, that's what I want from a battle royale game. That's what I want. I don't want this like 10 minutes of traveling just to get shot. I want fucking 100 players on the screen battling the hell out to the last one stands. That's what I want from a battle royale game. That's what I call a battle royale game. So if PUBG's doing that, I'm buying PUBG when that comes out. If that is the way it is, then I would definitely buy PUBG on that day, because actually that would be quite enjoyable to play and stream and do some sessions of. So yeah, I hope that's the case. And obviously PUBG also getting a snow map as well, I think. I think they're definitely getting a snow map. So that was PUBG, part of the conference. I think following Halo Infinite was the game from Software, which is based in Japan. So a la Dark Souls, and no. From Software buying no games of theirs because I would tear my hair out if I was to play them. I played Bloodborne, I sucked. So those games just aren't for me. They're a wee bit difficult for me in that regard. So some people will love it because it's from Software, the developers of Dark Souls. But me personally, I'm not good at those games, so I'd stay away from that. I can't remember the exact order of everything, but I can remember really kind of the big stuff. Let's get to this, and let's try and be as brief as possible, because I'm about to talk about Life is Strange again, because Captain Spirit was announced by Square Enix and Donut, and basically what Captain Spirit is the bridging of the gap between Life is Strange Season 1 and 2. Now, I've got a bit to say about this. Am I going to play it? Absolutely. You know, it's a demo. It's what Captain Spirit is in concept is a demo. It's a demo of Life is Strange 2. It's going to be released on the 26th of June this year, obviously. And it's basically going to bridge the gap. And basically, there's going to be Life is Strange two kind of things in there that you need to spot if you're thorough enough. I'm obviously in love with the lore of Life is Strange, so I'm probably going to find them without much problem. But I just cannot shake this uneasy feeling I have about it. Now, the thing is, with Life is Strange, I didn't want a sequel in the first place. I didn't want it because the fact that I lost Max and Chloe, as I've said before, broke me into a million pieces, and I didn't want a sequel. The main reason for that was not just because of Max and Chloe, but because the game was so good up to a point, up to the bullshit ending. The game was so good up to that point. It was about 95% of the game was excellent. It was one of my It's one of my favorite games of all time. Although Detroit has taken that position, you'll see that in the playthrough. But yes, Life is Strange, despite that, is still one of my favorite games of all time. But I didn't want a sequel to it. Now with Life is Strange Before the Storm, it was different. It felt like it belonged in the Life is Strange universe because of Rachel Amber. You've got a younger Chloe Price. You've got the school students from Blackwell like Victoria and Nathan. You got new people like Samantha and that kind of stuff. But to me, sorry, this is very squiff right now. This is really weird. But to me, Captain Spirit just it just doesn't fit. I don't have this great feeling about Captain Spirit. You know, I feel like Captain Spirit just. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit to me for some reason. I just feel like it won't fit in the Life is Strange universe. We've gone from that's better. We've gone from teenage angst in a school, in an academy, whatever you want to call it, with a murder mystery, couple of psychopaths. You know, we've gone from such a at times dark and gripping story to a degree, about like with awareness for certain mental things that people could be suffering from, and helplines for that sort of stuff. We've gone from experiencing such raw issues, murder mysteries, psychopaths. We've gone from that to a kid in his imagination. I don't know.
it doesn't fit. But at the same time, maybe that's intentional. Because as we all know, Life is Strange 2 is not a sequel per se. It's not a continuation of that story. That storyline arc, as far as games are concerned, is closed. Now, Life is Strange 1 actually has a comic series coming out that will focus on the Bay ending, as it were, which isn't the canon ending of the game, in my opinion. The sacrificing Chloe is the canon ending. It's blatantly obvious. But, there's been such a fan outcry for the Bay pickers that they want their continuation of that story. I just have no idea why. Just write your own fan fiction or something. But, they're getting comics, basically. Personally, as much as I love them, it was, I didn't cry out for things like that, but, a lot of people did, and they've got their wish, I suppose, in their comic sense. But, going back to Captain Spirit, I don't know. I'm going to give it a chance, because, number one, that's the point. That was always the point with Life is Strange 2, that it was going to be a completely different storyline. It wasn't really going to be mostly connected with Life is Strange 1, so, that was the point. That's the point of the whole story, that's fine. And number two, the reason why I'm going to check it out regardless is because I feel like I have to, because, when I first booted up Life is Strange 1 back in 2015, in May, the first 2 episodes were out, and I had no idea what Life is Strange 1 actually was. I went into the game with absolutely no prior knowledge of the game whatsoever. I didn't even see trailers. I can remember the trailers. I'd seen no footage. Kirst had seen some of the playthrough from Darksideville, but she turned to me and said, "You got to love this game if you buy it." So I did, and Life is Strange, as you know, turned out to be one of my favorite games of all time. So I feel that even though I feel really uneasy about this Captain Spirit, because I just feel it's so out of place, it's kind of what I felt like with Resident Evil 7 in the beginning, because I said in Resident Evil 4 that I wasn't feeling it, but I play Resident Evil 7 anyway because I feel that I would do an injustice to not only myself, but to the Resident Evil series if I didn't play Resident Evil 7. And it's pretty much the same with Life is Strange. If I wasn't to check out Captain Spirit and then Life is Strange 2 when it follows it eventually, I would do the series an injustice. And seeing that Life is Strange is one of those series that I absolutely love, even though I didn't want a sequel to it, I feel like I have to play it anyway, because it would just be a disservice to the Life is Strange team and the series and the way it works. So yes, I feel completely uneasy about it. I didn't want a sequel in the first place. That's probably why. It's clouding my judgment a little bit. It just doesn't feel like it should be part of the Life is Strange universe. It feels like a Toy Story universe kind of story, doesn't it? A kid with his toys and his imagination and his powers and whatnot. And obviously Life is Strange 2, he's probably going to acquire some of these powers that he's been doing since he was a kid. Probably. But, yeah, I'm not feeling it, but at the same time, I'm going to just check it out anyway because I feel like I have to. Even though I'm going to keep my expectations low for not only Captain Spirit, but Life is Strange 2 in general. Because the first game was so good that I don't think anything they could do could match it anyway. So I'm going to keep my expectations low for that reason. So, yeah, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check out Captain Spirit, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem to fit to me, but I'll have to wait and see. It comes out at the end of the month. I should have my PC back by then, cause probably by the end of the week, and then we can check that out together and see if there's anything we can do. And I think I even watched the thing from Don't Nod, and Michael Keogh said something like, "Oh, the choices you make in this demo will instantly reveal consequences for Life is Strange Season 2, so yeah, that's no surprise. So yeah, I'm not really sure on it, but we'll check it out. What else is there? Oh, there was actually one game that made me go completely nuts. It's basically this game Jump Force. And what it basically is a crossover between Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and One Piece. Now I don't know what One Piece is. I know a little about Naruto, but Dragon Ball I'm really getting into. Um, and it's basically a cross between those three universes. It looks to me like the game is going to be much more like Xenoverse and not really a traditional fighter like Dragon Ball Fighters. It seems like it's going to be more about uh, more a Xenoverse kind of deal. I think I could be wrong, but that's what it seems to be. I remember one of the games that was after Halo Infinite. I think it was the game Ori. It was the sequel to that Ori game that I didn't play. Something of the Wisps, I think it's called. But yeah, that was quite a surprise. I actually didn't expect that because I think that was a lovely, beautifully crafted game. What was quite interesting was I think it was after some point of the Forza Horizon 4, which I'll talk about a little bit. I freaking love it. I love Forza Horizon 4. Now, I've played a little bit of Forza Horizon 3, but I'm not really a big fan of the Forza series. It's one of those series that has eluded me for the most part, but Forza Horizon 4 looks hella fun. It really does. It really looks so much fun. It's based in the UK, which I was really surprised at. It's gonna be in Scotland and everything, so that's pretty cool. Forza Horizon 4, but I think it was some point after that Phil Spencer comes out again, and he talks about these acquiring of 5 new gaming studios. The Infinite, I think, was one, and he says something like greatness in storytelling, which is immediate to me. Like this could be Xbox versions of Quantic Dream. I would actually love that to be the case. So I can't wait to see what they come up with. And then they announced 2 studios, which I thought were already down with them, because Playground Studios and Undead Studios are 2 studios that I really thought were already with Microsoft. Because obviously State of Decay 2 and Forza Horizon 3 in particular are Xbox and PC exclusives, Windows 10. So I thought they were already with Microsoft, but Phil Spencer's talking like he hasn't owned them at all. It was a bit weird. I guess that means in their case, I guess it means tying them down to Microsoft so no one can take them. Um, but I don't think there was any danger of that anyway. Because they already were tied down with Microsoft anyway. Compulsion was another one. Ninja Theory was a huge one. Now, Ninja Theory, if you don't know them, were the developers that made Hellblade, and Hellblade came out for PS4. So, considering that, and Hellblade, Ninja Theory are now tied down with Xbox. Wow, that's a coup. That's a coup right there. And I need to play Hellblade at some point because I'm missing out on that one. It's a phenomenal game, so I think I'll enjoy it. So yeah, it was really funny how they just like did 2 first parties that were Microsoft Studios that they already had. They already had Playground who did Forza Horizon, and they already did Undead who did State of Decay. So I thought they had them already, but I guess it could be another way of tying them down so they don't leave at all. But the Ninja Theory was the biggest one, and obviously Compulsion was the last one, and they did We Happy Few, which is coming out later this year. It's full release. So that was the end of that one. What followed that? Let's think here. I think it was like indie titles, wasn't it? Oh, they had someone. They had the chick who made Game Pass come out, and they announced some more Game Pass titles on the day, like Fallout 4, Elder Scrolls. I think another one, and obviously they were talking about Crackdown 3, which was actually delayed. That was another game they had. Crackdown 3 was exclusive. That was so fun. My brother actually came down and we watched it together earlier today because he missed it, so I watched it with him. And he actually pointed out that the Crackdown actor was a very familiar person. I can't remember who he said it was, but it was a very familiar guy apparently. So that was really cool. Crackdown 3 looks fun. It's something that you told me today. We need to check that out. Even though we've already never played a Crackdown game before, I wouldn't be surprised if they're on backwards cap already, and if not, they're probably planning on doing it. But soon after that, let's go back to the Game Pass. Now, the Game Pass for Xbox One, if you guys are unfamiliar, this is going to be a very long video, I do apologize, but I want to kind of get all this out. I'll do this for Sony and Nintendo and everyone else as well. But Game Pass it's basically the way you can kind of play Xbox exclusives Mostly. Xbox exclusives will always stay on there. There will be third-party titles, but the third-party titles will be kind of swapped out every so often. Game Pass is £8 or whatever it is dollars a month, and it's fucking good. You can basically download any Xbox Game Pass title and play it immediately. So that basically means instead of paying for, say, Forza Horizon when that game comes out later this year, I think it was October 4th, instead of paying full price for Forza Horizon, which would be £50, $60, you could pay £8 or $8 for Game Pass, and you can basically play Forza Horizon 3 from the day it comes out for, let's add this up, 48 quid or so cheaper than buying it outright. What a great idea. I mean, I didn't think a lot of game devs would be down with that, but I guess it's a rolling monthly subscription like Xbox Live. So even if people start playing with Game Pass and doing it that way, they make their money anyway by getting all the Game Pass money from like continued subscriptions. And then some people could use Game Pass for trying out the game at a cheaper price. And if they like the game like Forza Horizon, you could buy it outright and own it for yourself anyway. So they make the same money. So whoever this chick is who made Game Pass is a freaking genius. I love Game Pass. It's something I wish PlayStation had, that's for sure. And she said something about booting certain games. Certain games are going to get a fast boot setting. So basically, your games boot 2 times faster. I don't know why that's significant. I was a bit like, what? Why are they doing that? You know, why are they doing that? Who cares? Once you boot up the game, you're in the game. All you have to do is about loading times. But apparently, she wants to boot games faster. So I'm not really sure what I did. So there was a few surprising things there as well. DLC for Cuphead, which didn't really surprise me that much because Cuphead is a great game. Apparently, it's a throwback to a lot of gaming vets, as it were, because it's a classic, one of those classic side-scrolling, very hard games. Battletoads was announced. That was a big shock. Freaking Battletoads out of nowhere. What else was there? I'll get to the other exclusives in a minute. I just want to kind of wrap my head around. I think that the indie presentation, and then I think Devil May Cry 5 was another one. And that really surprised me because what surprised me is that it's not a sequel to the prequel series. It's actually a sequel to Devil May Cry 4. So that instantly tells me that old Dante is back, and they did someone who looked like classic Dante, but Vash pointed him out as Nero, who I'm very unfamiliar with. So basically, I think it's the same story from Devil May Cry 4 when you're taking on Nero as Dante at the beginning of the game. Yes, and basically they've made Nero classic Dante, or prequel Dante as it were, and classic Dante. So, nice move by Capcom after punching them in the dick, your fans in the dick, in the prequel by having prequel Dante got not a million years and throwing the wig off. So, good recovery there, Capcom, because you needed to do that shit after punching your fans in the dick with that move. And then I think we can probably get to the big one. There was a real funny one. There was a real funny moment where this skateboarding game came up, and everyone, I wasn't on Twitter at the time, because I was so into the conference. But I instantly looked at this skateboarding game, right, and I was like, oh my god, Skate 4, people are gonna go nuts. It turns out that the game isn't Skate 4, it's called Session, and I'm thinking, oh shit, there is gonna be a meltdown on social media because it's not Skate 4. There is gonna be a meltdown. That was hilarious. That was such a troll move by Microsoft to do that. Skate 4 has been kind of requested for years. And we're still waiting. Those people are still waiting for Skate 4. I think Session is going to be the spiritual successor kind of deal with Skate 4 on that. And then we got to, I think it was after that or soon after that we got to kind of somewhat the best and worst bit of the conference for me, because the worst bit was when the gear symbol came up. the wall got chainsawed and out stepped these chibis, and I was like, oh, for God's sake, no, really? It turns out that that's a mobile game called Gears Pop. Now, why the fuck is a mobile game being advertised on a fucking Microsoft briefing? I have no idea why that was doing that. Actually, I've just figured it out. Windows phones. That's why. Windows phones. I just remember that. It's because I don't remember having a Windows phone because I did and it was garbage. The battery life is terrible in those things. Don't get them. But yeah, that was the reason for that. So they had like Gears Pop, but that's for Windows mobile devices and all that. So that's why they did that. There's going to be a PC exclusive kind of game, which is going to be like an RTS. It's called Gears Tactics. I actually quite like the idea. I'm actually quite interested in that. Even though I'm not really good with RTS games, I'm actually quite intrigued by that game. That actually looks a really interesting game. And then, I need to check something here, guys. I'm not going to be able to check my battery here, but I'll try and wrap this up quickly, because I don't know if my battery's running out or not, but... and then they talked about Gears 5. I was like, right, okay. Now, it's quite funny with the Gears 5 trailer. I will mention this a little bit, that the Gears 5 trailer was quite funny because they had Kate, JD, and Dell looking a little older, but Marcus Phoenix all of a sudden looks much younger. It's like they took the beard off him and it's like shaved 5 years off his life. It's quite funny. I'm not sure how soon after Gears 4 it is, but apparently Kate has started having nightmares and she's kind of having this internal battle with herself. So I think the Swarm are starting to really show their hand for a couple of reasons. Number one is that the Locust and the Swarm and the Scions, they're all getting kind of in Kate's head and giving her nightmares. And Oscar was the person that died at the beginning of the trailer. Or the beginning of the trailer. It was a cinematic trailer. And it was definitely Oscar that died at the beginning of it. So it comes out that Katie's been having this kind of internal struggle within herself, and it comes down to the locust thing. And it was quite funny how JD points out to Dell that that's a locust symbol, and I'm thinking, you've only figured this out now? I knew it at the end of Gears of War 4, for goodness sake. But yeah, that's the first time they've actually seen that, probably because they've never seen that side of it before. One interesting line that Kate actually said was going back to where it all began, and I was like, ooh, are they going back to Mount Canar in that base? In the New Hope base? That would be really interesting because obviously Mira has a big thing with the New Hope base and Mira's obviously her grandmother. But yeah, it looked very interesting, and I think the one thing was the Swarm are now adapting their kind of... You remember when the Pouncer hacked into the Jin's robot at the beginning of Act 5 in the game? Basically, they're now starting to take shape with robotic Swarm monstrosities from the DB parts. So that's quite interesting. It's like the Swarm are evolving. So that's quite interesting. I'm going to give Gears 5 the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give the Coalition the benefit of the doubt with this one. I'm going to hope that they've learned from Gears of War 4 and learned what works and what doesn't. And I hope they've addressed the loot box issue and all that crap. And they make Horde fun enough for people to actually play instead of getting the bunch of leaders that you have in Gears of War 4. So I'm going to give Coalition the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going to see if they've learned and if they've made Gears 5 much better than Gears 4 was. But we'll have to see. Am I excited? Yes. But I'm a bit cautious. I mean, I'm certainly not buying the Season Pass for this one because the Season Pass in Gears of War 4 was a complete rip-off. The fact that, none of the characters were unlocked with the Season Pass. All the Season Pass holders got was early access to the maps. And the maps, 90%, like 85% of the maps were reimagined maps like from the launch of the game with different weather effects. So that Season Pass was a complete fucking rip-off. And they ended... that was pretty much... I think the soon after, Phil Spencer actually comes out and he starts talking about building a new console. And I'm like, are you guys so far behind that you're already working on your new console? Are you fucking serious? That's... So... again, so much for this gen lasting 5 years. 10 years, I think it was. Everyone was like, oh, this generation is going to last for 10 years. We're going to be playing on the Xbox One and PS4 for 10 years. Microsoft are already working on the next one. So that's been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we've had 5 years on this generation. We've not even reached halfway, and Microsoft are already planning their next console. Both Sony and Microsoft to come out with 4K consoles, which they probably should have come out to begin with. Yeah, it's so much for 10 years. So it was quite funny there. And then the last thing they did was Cyberpunk 2077, which I have no real thoughts on because I don't know if I can talk about it. So that's pretty much it. 40 minutes of talking. I do apologize, but I wanted to get my kind of thoughts out there. But like I said at the beginning, it was Microsoft's best conference for quite some time. They had a lot of killer announcements there. I think Sony will at least break even tonight. But at the same time, I do think Sony have kind of, a lot of what Sony is what we already know. But then I said that about Microsoft, and they come up with things like Battletoads and Jump Force. Jump Force is obviously third party, but not really many like stuff. You get like DLC for Sea of Thieves, DLC for Cuphead. It's I don't think there was really any new exclusives there apart from the one from Software, I think, but I could be wrong. But we're in that age now where Sony and Microsoft are rather they're not selling the console to you with an app or an exclusive reason to have an Xbox One that's different from a PlayStation 4. They're not doing that, but what they are doing is making you happy that you own these consoles. And as a huge gamer that I am, I'm happy I own all my consoles. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, it doesn't matter to me. It was like I said in English Avengers Discord, they all having this argument over how, Xbox has a better lineup than Sony, and I'm just sitting there thinking, can we just enjoy video games, please? Can we stop with this console wars? We had this in the 90s, we don't have to do this now. Can't we just, sit and enjoy video games for what they are, no matter what console you have? Okay. I get that maybe some people can't own all the consoles, like probably me, but there's no need to swear blind allegiance to one side, because then you miss out on what the other side gives. Like, for example, Xbox Live, still the better online service ahead of PSN. That's a given. But okay, so you've got great exclusives like Forza and the great Xbox Live experience, great social experience, better running games graphically, I suppose I should say that because it is the world's most powerful console. But then you're missing out on exclusives like Detroit Become Human. And the same the other side. If you play like great exclusives like Detroit Become Human, but then you miss out on the great online, the great social games, the great the adaptive controller if you have a disability or have lost a limb or something, they now have this adaptive controller. Every company has its pros and cons, and I'm not a fanboy of either or. I'm a lover of the video game. I'm going to praise and probably criticize a little bit for Sony if they do something right or wrong. I don't think Xbox did a lot wrong in this conference, I will admit that. But at the end of the day, I'm a lover of the video game no matter which one it is. And that's why I love this time of year, because it's all about games, and that's all I care about. Console wars, never a part of it. I was a Sega kid in the 90s, and then I moved to PlayStation, and then I stuck with Sony for so many years. I've stuck with Sony pretty much since the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. Didn't get on board with the PlayStation 3. My parents got me the Xbox 360 instead, which I'm very much happy about because the PS3 was way too expensive when it came out. And then I've gone back to PlayStation with the PlayStation 4. But I've still got an Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. So, it's like, can we just stop with these console wars and who's better? Who cares? If you're a gamer, then you love the games. There's no need to have one over the other, unless you're cash strapped. If you're cash strapped and can't have all the consoles, fine. But don't swear allegiance to that place, because then you miss out on something else. You miss out on what PlayStation offers, or if you're on PlayStation, you miss out on what Xbox offers. Just enjoy video games. Can we just enjoy the video games, please? Oh, one thing they noticed about Xbox was Division 2, but I haven't played the first one, and I enjoyed the first one I played, but it got really difficult really quickly, and I got turned off. I'll have to probably play that again, because I still own that game, and I might as well try and play it, see what I can do with it. But yeah, can we just enjoy video games, please? Can we just stop with this console war nonsense, because it's not important. yes, Xbox had one of their best conferences, but I'm still going to probably enjoy Sony's and definitely going to enjoy Nintendo's if they're going to talk about fucking Smash Brothers all night. I'll fucking take that. But I'll save that for another video because this is going for 3/4 of an hour already. So I do apologize about the long runtime of this video, but considering that I'm not really going to have a lot of videos until the end of the week, it's probably not that bad anyway. But yeah, thank you for staying tuned with this update. Sorry about the long, unmitigated talk about E3 there, but I'm a gamer, it's what I do. So I guess it makes sense. Oh, alright guys, my throat's hurting because I've been talking for like 45 minutes straight, but I'll go now, and yeah, just stop with this console war stuff. Let's just enjoy video games. This is the time of year to enjoy video games. Let's stop with this nonsense. Please. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go now. I'm sorry for the long discussion there, but yeah, I won't be really doing regular videos until pretty much the end of the week when my PC gets back. Anyway, so this kind of fills the runtime, I suppose. Alright, guys, so with that, I'm finally going to leave you guys to enjoy the rest of your day. You know what to do, subscribe, follow on Twitch, and all that good stuff. I will try and throw some streams because I can still do it through the consoles, but I can't really promise much because I got a kind of busy week, in a sense. And then I gotta wait for my PC to get back. So by the time I've sorted out like all this stuff out that I'm doing, it might be the end of the week and my PC might be back anyway. So probably Friday at the latest and maybe Wednesday at the earliest. I don't really know, but yeah, I'll let you guys know on the other thoughts of the other conferences. I'll do that tomorrow because obviously Sony's just at 2 a.m. and then Nintendo is just like later in the day, and I'll probably do both at once in another long video. But like I said, with regular uploads stopping because of my PC being kind of on the OOA, this will fill the time probably more than enough, I would have supposed, because like we've been talking for 3/4 of an hour. So, alright guys, I'm finally going to go now. I will see you all probably tomorrow, depending on when I can get this uploaded and done. So, I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out, and happy gaming, I guess, because that's what we're doing this week for, right? Alright guys, peace out, stay awesome. I'll see you all later.